Oh,
And good morning. Just in the nick of time. I'll explain that in a minute. Nice to see you. It is Wednesday, the 29th of June. I would like you to know that I am now officially freaking out. We're halfway through the year already. This is great. Time is a wonderful way of moving on, doesn't it? Hey, it's the John Lavenia Success Mastermind. The man himself is with us. Nice to see. I'm your guy at the microphone, Glen Henderson, and it's the 29th. Let's see. Let's go and have a bit of housekeeping, shall we? I mentioned that we were here just in the nick of time because I kid you not, 4 minutes before the start of our conversation here, my computer took that exact opportunity to freak out just for a moment. So I had to do a little scrambling there uh, for a moment, but we seem to be back in shape now. And let's see, what are we gonna do? Let's find out what's on the calendar. I believe it's a fairly light uh, day today, so let's get the calendar up. Well, as soon as that comes up, here it is. Where's the sessions today? It's me here with you in the general session, and the same tomorrow. It is going to be a fairly big weekend for many of us. Our Canadian friends know that this Friday they shall be celebrating Canada Day. So we'll give them a little Maple Leaf greeting a few days early to our Canadian friends and those of us. Nice to see you, by the way, those that are joining in with us and jumping on through the various interwebs and multiverses and so forth, which, by the way, that's one of those things that Paula and I are planning to do during the first part of July. We're going to be heading out on vacation for a few days down to Florida. But the other thing, we like going to the movies. We like enjoying certain forms of entertainment, and one of those that we're going to be checking out, that multiverse, that word that I just used there. There's actually a new film that's recently come out with that name, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. What in the heck is that? Well, we'll find. I guess we'll go see the movie and let you know. So nice to see you. Lynn is with us, and our good man John, and those that are joining with us on the replay. You know, I it took me a while to figure out or to learn that 90%, roughly 90% of viewings of any video, any Facebook Live or whatever it might be, Instagram Reel or Story or whatever, roughly 90% of the viewings on average take place on a replay. So we are happy to see our friends on the replay, but we don't have to say that with regard to our friend Daisy because, Daisy is always, let's just keep this between us. The folk down, don't need to know. Good to see you, Daisy. So it's halfway through the year. And you know me, because I'm always reading something or other, or studying or watching something in preparation for writing something or other. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? There's another book coming. We're starting to our plans, Paula's and my plans for putting the next book together are beginning to coalesce, and so coalesce. What the heck does coalesce mean? Well, in the words of our good friend John Lavenia, the greatest personal development book of all time, the dictionary. So our plans are starting to come together. Um, so there's that always going on with me putting that together. I think we will probably be heading off somewhere in the Texas hills, maybe sometime early fall this year, and because I'd like to have, just sharing a little inside dope on my strategy. I'd like to have the next book, the second book, ready for Christmas shopping. Available for Christmas shopping. So I'll let you know. And in connection with that, I'm always reading something. And watching something. You probably have guessed that the book is likely to have something to do with a certain TV show that of your acquaintance. I've been binge watching Star Trek Voyager recently. This is the one that concerns the journey and the adventures of one of the first female starship captains in Starfleet. Not the very first. As far as I can tell, the very first female starship captain mentioned in the Star Trek universe is a woman by the name of Rachel Garrett. Captain Rachel Garrett, who was the captain of the USS Enterprise version C, which is a whole other story. Star Trek Voyager concerns the journey and adventures of Captain Catherine Janeway and the crew of Voyager. There's a phrase that keeps popping up with one particular character. If you know anything, this is, by the way, this is all tangent because it's just popping in my head, and there is a little bit of a lesson behind this. One of the characters is a character with a fairly unusual name. You may know or be aware, if you followed Star Trek at all, that one of Starfleet's one of the Federation's most lethal enemies is a race of creatures known as the Borg, mechanical, cybernetic life forms whose goal is to dominate all of the universe. And so they assimilate different races and bring them into the Borg collective, strip away their individuality and so forth, and force them to serve the Borg cause. One of those characters, one of those cybernetic creatures, was actually separated and liberated from the Borg by Captain Janeway and crew. Is a young woman from Earth whose Borg designation name is 7 of 9 tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 01. Now, doesn't that name just trip off the tongue? Pretty nice. And there's a bunch of conversations and interactions that go on between 7, as she's now known to the Voyager crew, and the rest of the people aboard ship. There's one phrase that 7 uses continually, which I really, really like. It is this: whenever she's faced with a difficult situation, a challenge, something, some difficult problem to overcome, some obstacle that stands in the way of accomplishing the mission, the Borg 7 of 9 says one thing constantly. She says, "I will adapt. We will adapt." Well, that sounds pretty good to me, because as you and I have always known and are coming to learn, solving problems, addressing and meeting challenges that come up in our life, and in our business, usually involves adapting, changing our strategy, realizing what's in front of us, and changing our opinion in the face of new information, changing our strategy in the face of new information. I just had a conversation of just a few minutes before this call with a good friend of mine who was just presented with some devastating information. She was hoping to get a certain new job, start a new career, and was unfortunately informed that the first step in that new career was thwarted because she didn't get the job she was hoping for and had applied for. Very, very depressed, confused. Which I can understand. We are good enough friends that eventually I will say to her something along the lines of, you will adapt. And so she will. And so you will. To whatever challenge may be facing you in your life, I do know that I have been by circumstances required to adapt on more than one occasion. And I know you have as well. Len and Edward, good to see you, my friend. And of course, John is pretty good at adapting, I would think, because he and Shannon have gone through and started and moved on from a variety of different ventures and businesses, and as circumstances change and as things change in their life, they've become very good at adapting, and sometimes adapting basically amounts to changing the circumstances around us in order to be better able to accomplish our goals. So sometimes I will adapt means adjusting the world, which is an interesting thought. So there's that. The little side thing to start with. You will adapt. Whatever it is, to my friend, you will adapt. Now, back to my reading. And Sherry, hey, it's Monday. Holy moly. Good to see you. Those are some seriously red fingernails, I must say. Nicely done. So, as I said, I was reading, and this week I've been reading this guy. You may have heard me mention this one before. Jeffrey Gitomer's Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude. Subtitle being How to Find, Build, and Keep a Yes Attitude for a Lifetime of Success and Happiness. Sounds pretty groovy, hey? So here's reading is fundamental to attitude self-awareness. And you know what's interesting? This is just the page that I was wrapping up today in my reading. And Jeffrey Gitomer recommends 4 of my favorite books in the whole world to start with. If you happen to not yet be an avid reader, there are several books that he highly recommends. You want to guess what those books are? I won't make you wait. Think and Grow Rich. The very first book that we started with in our Mastermind Book Club. Think and Grow Rich. How to Win Friends and Influence People, a book that I read once a year, whether I need to or not. The Dale Carnegie classic. Also by Dale Carnegie, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. Ooh, that's a good. There are some people who are absolutely committed, determined to worry all the time about everything. I have a friend who is, I would say, a confirmed worrywart. You know what a worry? You ever heard that term? How long has it been? What's a worrywart? Someone who worries about everything, just about all the time. Worries about just about everything, just about all the time. And who, if they can't find something to worry about, they will invent something to worry about. Believe it or not, there are such people. And in my opinion, it's very difficult for such a person to live a happy life. That's just my personal point of view. So, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And the 4th book, recommended by Jeffrey Gitomer. Boy, he goes straight to the classics. Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. Right here. I'm going to show you, right here. Right here in the book, you see? This is the sword, right? There you go. So, if you haven't read, if there's any one of these books that you haven't read yet, I highly recommend that you start with these 4. Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, and The Power of Positive Thinking. I will tell you this, in case you didn't already know, every last one of these books was written before the year 1976. And I think that it's interesting to me because now they've been adapted and reimagined by different authors in the years since. As a matter of fact, the great network marketing trainer Ray Higdon has written a reimagining of Think and Grow Rich for the network marketing profession, which he calls vibrational money immersion. Interesting name. Vibrational Money Immersion by Ray Higdon. It's sort of a retelling, a reinterpretation of Think and Grow Rich that is focused on what Ray believes are necessary attitudes, mindsets, patterns of thinking, patterns of thought and action for the network marketing profession. So there's that. I highly recommend those 4 books. And I'm going to go on. Jeffrey Gitomer says something in this book, Little Golden Book of Yes. Yep, Little Gold Book of Yes Attitudes. He says, I read 2 pages from a positive book every day. I've been doing it 15 minutes a day of attitude reading for 30 years. He says right here, I don't know if it's working yet. I'll do it for another 35 years, and then that's it. I'm going to quit. I must confess that I haven't done 15 minutes of attitude reading every single day for 30 years or for 40 years since I first became aware of the power of attitude. As a matter of fact, it's been longer than that. I think I mentioned to you one time that my parents, for my 10th birthday, gave me 2 gifts. I'm sure they gave me others, but 2 gifts they gave me. They gave me, number 1, a leather-bound copy, leather-bound gold edge, page edge bound copy of the Schofield version of the King James Bible with my name in Boston gold right there in the front. Very fancy, right? The other gift they gave me was a book by a man named Charles T. Jones. The book is called Life is Tremendous. I have a copy here on the shelf. I think I have a digital copy. Life is Tremendous. That book opened me up to the idea that there is a way of thinking, a mindset, a habit, pattern of thought that's different from all the moaning and groaning and whining, complaining and worry that we see all around us every day. Which, by the way, I'm going to share with you in a minute a couple of tips, a list of tips that Jeffrey Gitomer shares in order to improve my attitude. You notice I point the fingers at myself first. Improve my attitude and improve yours if you'll take these steps. So this book, Life is Tremendous, opened my mind to the possibility of changing my life by thinking in a positive and hopeful and uplifting way. I was 10 years old, 61 now. You do the math. So for that long, have I been reading 15 minutes a day of attitude reading every day for those 50 some years? I'll confess not. But as the old saying goes, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is now. So, will you take this journey with me 15 minutes a day? Starting today? I can think of a pretty good place to start. So there's that. So now let me share some of these things from Jeffrey's list of 20. He says 20.5. For some reason, he's a real big fan of decimals, this guy. 20.5 attitude mental snacks to chew on, as he calls them. And feel free to jot these down and whatever. Get yourself a copy of the book so you can download them, share them with other people. Some of them may make sense to you. Some of them you may want to chew on for a minute until they make sense to you. Number one, he says, change your input to change your attitude. What's that mean? And by the way, I'm going to share each of these like a sentence of my own reading of it, my own interpretation of it. Change your input to change your attitude. Here's what that means to me. Please, 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 for God's sake and for the sake of your own attitude, stop watching the news. Please stop watching the news. Okay, did I mention please stop watching the news? I can pretty much predict what'll be on your news broadcast tonight. Somebody got killed, somebody got robbed, somebody got raped, some politician is corrupt, and the rest of the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Film at 11. Please stop watching the news. Jeffrey says, if you seek a positive mind and a positive attitude, you must expose yourself to positive information, hang around positive people. Want to achieve positive? If you want to achieve positive, got to surround yourself with it. Got to live it. Napoleon Hill refers to this as a mind tightly closed to negative influences. How tightly closed is your mind? How tightly closed is my mind? Well, sounds like a question to start a conversation with the person in the mirror. Huh? What do you think? Second, you were born to win. You were born to win. I firmly believe, as you all know, I'm a man of faith. I firmly believe that, and I think my friend John agrees with me in that the impulses, the urges that we are given to achieve certain things, to improve ourselves, to become more than we are, to become more than we think we can be, these impulses, these drives, these desires are given to us by and through a power greater than ourselves. These things don't happen by accident. And if you have been given a desire, a dream, a drive to do something, to accomplish something, it means, I believe, that you were also given and already have the tools, the ability to bring that dream into reality, to bring that desire into reality. Of course, there's a necessary step, which Jeffrey refers to, number 3, a quote from Vince Lombardi. That is, the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare to win. People say, a lot of people like to quote Vince Lombardi as having said, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. He never said that. What he said was, the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare to win. Do your homework, study, practice. Find somebody to practice your sales presentation on. Find somebody to practice as you prep for your TED Talk. Yep, I firmly believe that somebody from here within the Lavenia Success Mastermind is going to give a TED Talk one of these days. Who's it going to be? Why not you? Number 4. It's another great quote from a great, great man, the late legendary Zig Ziglar. You will get whatever you want. You can get whatever in this world that you want if you will first help other people get what they want. You ever done something really nice for somebody when you didn't have to? Nobody had asked you to do anything. You hadn't got like a fundraising letter from some charity. You just decided to do something for someone. A truly random act of kindness. Now here's the question. How good did that make you feel? Wasn't that great? Even if the person didn't or couldn't thank you. Oh, which, by the way, it's Wealth Wednesday, my friends. You thought I forgot about that because we haven't talked about it for a bit. I need to lay this out for Lynn and for our other new members. What's Wealth Wednesday? On Wealth Wednesday, the concept was introduced to me by my friend Ray Higdon. On Wednesday, perform a random act of kindness for a complete stranger involving a financial exchange. Give an example. Pay for the person behind you at the coffee line. Pay for the person behind you as you drive through the toll booth. Ooh, nice. A more modern, a more like a 21st century internet version. Go on to one of the payment sites, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, or something. Pick somebody and send them, Zelle them, cash them $20 anonymously. Now you can tell me who you are if you want. Anonymously, I do it. I like to do it anonymously. One of my wife's favorites, one of Paula's favorites, is to go to a Goodwill or a charity shop and go to the children's section and put a $10 bill in between the pages of a children's book. Slip a 10-pound note into the pocket of a baby jacket. Look, who needs extra cash more than new parents? So there's one. Help other people get what they want. Help other people's lives to improve. Bring that impression of increase. Did I say that right, John? The impression of increase into someone else's life first. You'll be so pleasantly surprised and pleased at the increase that will come back to you. Number 5, make every day as productive as the day before you go on vacation. Isn't that the day when we just get everything done? We just rush around, get it all done. What's the name? Norman Vincent Peale. Dale Carnegie, in his book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, he describes this as living in day-tight compartments. Do everything you can do today. Jump your behind out of bed and do today, go at today 100%. You probably won't have to worry about tomorrow. Make every day as productive as the day before you go on vacation. I love the way Jeffrey says that. Number 6, ignore people. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I believe this one's going to cut a little bit close to the bone. Ignore people who tell you you can't. Ignore people who tell you that you can't do something. And here's where the knife comes out and starts cutting a little close. Some of those people live in your house. Ooh, yeah, he went there. Ignore people who tell you, you got a goal, you're working on something, you're moving towards something. Somebody will tell you that you can't do it. You know why? Usually, people will discourage you for fear that you will pass them. I have a friend, one of the people that I work with in coaching, understands and remembers one of my favorite sayings about this, not original with me, and that is, I used to worry what people thought about me until one day I tried to pay my bills with their opinions. Ooh, ignore people who tell you you can't. Here's a nice quote from your mother. What? Glenn, how in the heck do you know what my mother said? Well, here's how I know. Your mother once said to you, if you have nothing nice to say, say nothing. Your mama told you that more than once, didn't she? Told you so. If you have nothing nice to say, say nothing. You know how many fights, how many arguments, how many wars or whatever, how many riots could have been avoided if somebody had just kept their lip zipped? Negative talk begets more negative talk. Insults beget more insults. Pretty simple stuff. We do not attract what we want. And here's another one that goes right into this. Don't dwell on the problem or whine about the problem. Concentrate on the solution. Don't dwell on the problem or whine. Focus on the solution. Here's what this leads into. The last one, if you got nothing nice to say, and this one, focus on solutions. We do not attract what we want. We attract who we are. Ooh. That's a good one. So if I got a bunch of negative people around me, toxic people with nasty attitudes, well, guess what? We do not attract what we want. We attract who we are. Here's another one. Here's another big one. Here's another big family thing and close friend thing. Forgive and go forward. Forgive and go forward. Grudge, resentment, old hurts, block positive. Holding a grudge against another person, holding a grudge against someone, you're going to love this one. Holding a grudge against someone is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Until you clear the past, you are destined to repeat it. That's from Jeffrey. What good does it do us to hold grudges? Whom does it serve to hold a grudge? What do you get out of it? You get to hold. I get to hold on to my anger, my resentment, that sorry song, right? And what does that get you? Does that move you forward closer to your goals by holding on to some hurt from the past? Self-talk equals self-performance. Oh man, I always make that mistake. Why do I keep messing up? Well, yes. Did you catch that? Why do I keep making the same mistake? Exactly. What? Well, you keep talking yourself into the same mistake. Okay, here's what happened. What did I do? What steps did I take? Okay, I did this, I did that. All right, what can I do differently the next time this comes up? You see the difference? Top Gun. A good pilot is compelled to evaluate what's happened so he can apply what he's learned. Evaluate what happened. Apply what we learned. And leave off that bollocks. Did I say that right, Mandy? Leave off that bollocks about why do I keep doing this? Well, exactly. Self-talk. What is the picture you have of yourself? Ooh, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a successful person? Do you see yourself as one who habitually wins? You know, it's one of the things that I like to say, and I think John commented on this one time. I have always had this attitude in my life. Two things that I've always believed about myself. Number one, I am protected and guided by a force, an entity, God, choose your term, by a power greater than myself. I am protected and guided at all times by a power greater than myself. And number two, the thing I've always believed about myself, my own success is inevitable. Seems to me that's a pretty good place to start for as far as affirmations are concerned. You notice you didn't hear anything about, I'm a millionaire. I make $1 million a year. Yeah, I've got a big house. Yeah, I'm a world leader. Well, as John has pointed out to us many times, trying to repeat affirmations around stuff that we don't actually believe is counterproductive to our mindset. So, I am absolutely convinced, because I can cite evidence from my own life and experience, I am at all times protected and guided by a power greater than myself. And number two, my personal success is inevitable. You might start with those two affirmations. Please feel free to steal them. You will hear the word no 116,000 times in your life, in your lifetime, on average. You will hear the word no on average 116,000 times in your lifetime. Work on converting just 1,000 of those no's to yeses, and the world is your oyster. You ever thought about that? 1 out of 100 no's converted to a yes, and you can have any bloody thing you want in life. convert 1 out of 100 no's to a yes. And how to do that is the subject of an entirely different, is a result of an entirely different mastermind conversation, which we will have. But just keep that in mind. You will hear the word no 116,000 times during your lifetime. Convert just 1,000 of those no's to yeses, and the world is your oyster. Oh boy. What you do off the job determines what you are likely to do on the job. My old high school football coach used to say, you practice how you play. What I do in practice is likely what I'll do in the game. So go all out in practice. Practice your sales presentation. Practice your routine. Practice your workout. Practice whatever it is that you do off campus, offline, and you'll do it better when it counts. Something else? What we do in terms of our personal health, our personal lifestyle, our personal nutrition choices will influence what we do when we need to be at our best. And I'll simply leave it at that. I'm no kind of dietitian or personal trainer or anything. I'll simply say how we take care of our bodies is pretty much how our body is going to take care of us when we really need them to. Or as I heard someone say one time, if you don't make time for your wellness now, you will certainly make time for your illness later. So there's that. Strengthen your weaknesses and strengthen your strengths at the same time. I know there are people who like to say, well, delegate the jobs that you're not good at. Absolutely. Go for it. Me, I like to work on getting a little bit better every day at the stuff I'm not so great at now. I'm not looking to become a professional everything. I'm looking to become, maybe 1% better in various areas of my life on a daily basis. And that effort to become a little bit better every day gives me a sense of daily accomplishment that's irreplaceable. You can't fake that kind of sense of daily success, daily accomplishment. Here's a good one. And this one comes right out of my reading of one of my favorite business books. You know the one I mean? Go for no. Go for no. Failure is an event, not a person. This is number 15. Failure is an event, not a person. Think of failure as it, not me. You catch that? Failure is an event, not a person, not a career, not a life. And as you've heard me say many times before, failure is not an obstacle on the road to success. Failure is the road to success. And the sooner you and I can become comfortable, excited, looking forward to hearing the word no, looking forward to trying things and failing and learning and trying again and failing and learning and trying again and blah, blah, blah. Think about a baby learning to walk. Think about you when you were 6 years old learning to ride your bicycle. Did you quit the first time you fell off the bike? Nope. You jumped right back on and kept working. Failure is an event, not a person. It's not what happens. Here's the next one. It's not what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens to you. 7 of 9. I will adapt. Sound familiar? Response. We've talked about this. I think didn't I do like a whole conversation recently on the concept of responsibility? What is responsibility? It is the ability to respond to our circumstances in a way that serves us and moves us forward. Not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. Here it is. Every obstacle, the next one, every obstacle presents an opportunity if you're looking for it. I know I'm fire hosing you with a bunch of these things. It's deliberate. Pick one. Pick one and run with it. We'll come back to the others. Here's a good one. You know what makes luck? Hard work. I'm not sure who said it. I've heard Will Rogers said it. He says a funny thing about luck. He says, seems like the harder I work, the luckier I get. It's been attributed to a lot of people. Hard work makes luck. Or as the old saying goes, was it Santayana? Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Unless a man is prepared for his chance, that chance will only make him look ridiculous. So be ready. Practice, study, work. Always be ready to go when the opportunity presents itself. How many of your problems, here's a good question. How many of your problems can be cured with 10 grand? $10,000? 10,000 pounds? How many of your problems can be cured? Well, some, sure. Some. There are some problems that money cannot solve. This is one of them. No amount of money can change your mental attitude. No amount of money can change your mindset. You know anybody with a lot of money that's miserable? I rest my case. Change the mind first. And we find that strange way we begin to attract not what we want. We begin to attract who we are. Just a couple more. It's not what we say, it's how we say it. I've been called a fairly diplomatic, tactful person. That's probably true because I've always sought, and I think this is a habit I picked up from my mother. I've always sought and I always seek the most positive, helpful way to say something rather than critical or condescending or attacking someone. You know what I mean? Like, man, you really screwed that up. What's wrong with you? As opposed to, okay, this happened. I get it. It's kind of disappointing. Okay, what happened? What steps did you take? What happened after you took that step? Okay, so that's what happened. So now, what do you think you could do differently next time so that that undesirable result doesn't happen again? You see the difference? Evaluate what happened. Apply what you've learned. I think that may be part of the essence of tact or constructive criticism, as it used to be called. Evaluate what's happened so you can apply what you've learned. I love this one. This is the point 5. This is the number 20.5. Resign your position as general manager of the universe. Resign your position as general manager of the universe. I am good at, there's certain things I'm good at. Certain things I'm not so great at. One of the things at which I am an absolute Vulcan master is the ability to not take on other people's problems. You don't have to. One of my favorite TV shows, Blue Bloods, concerns law enforcement in New York City. And one of the main characters is an eager young police officer who wants to solve everybody's problems and get in there and crack the case and do all of it and take it, every homeless kid and blah, blah, blah. And somebody said, wait, hold up, listen. You can't save every puppy in the pound. Ooh, oh, that's kind of, yeah, I know. It's just, nobody wants to think about the cute little puppies. But you can't save every puppy in the pound. Not everybody's problem is yours to solve. And the sooner you figure out that you don't have to solve everybody's problems, I promise you'll start getting happier the very next morning. Kid you not. Resign your position as general manager of the universe. You don't have to solve everybody else's problem for them. Now, I've dropped a whole bunch of stuff on you. And I know somebody has had an aha moment. You got to share your aha moment with me. The one, for me, out of this list, the one that really hit me was number 12. You will hear the word no 116,000 times in your lifetime. Convert just 1,000 of those 116,000. That is, convert less than 1 in 100 from a no to a yes, and the world is your oyster.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey!
I'm not on camera because I'm just outside doing a little bit of objective yard work, which, you know what, I could come on camera. I'm actually trimming some hedges and getting rid of this. This is like a project, getting rid of something called Virginia creeper.
Virginia creep.
You're familiar?
Okay,
are you familiar
sounds
with
like
this?
one of those Lifetime movies, like The Jilted Lover or something.
Yeah. So I'm out here, and this vine called Virginia creeper creeps in and grabs everything and takes root into anything it can and just takes over. Right. So I am having a field day with this stuff. I get a little bit of exercise at the same
There
time.
you go.
And working on my tan. But anyway, the quotes that you brought up here, which is, you know, one way to look at it would be, okay, I'll take the reminders. You know, that's cool. Somebody else wrote this stuff. I could just kind of lean on them and, you know, sound like I know what I'm talking about. You know, that's cool. But you put some thought into this because look, there's lots of quotes you didn't say, and I will say that one of the assets that I have still from when I wrote Integrity is Everything, I compiled a list of quotes that I thought were worthy of leaning on in that book and building paragraphs around, and of course, you know, citing the source. Here's a butterfly. I don't know if you saw that. Anyway, butterfly just came to visit while I was talking. It's an omen. It's a sign. It's a sign. So, but I maintained that asset, and every now and then I'll just open it up, and it's just a plain text document with quotes and the attribution. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to read this. And one of the ones that keeps coming up for me is James Allen, who you quoted when he said, "In life, you don't get what you want; you get who you are." I've gone back and forth with that one, you know, between, you know, rejecting it, accepting it, attempting to live by it, neglecting it. There's that butterfly again. See that? Oh, he just went over the fence. Yeah. But that smacks of responsibility, right? Ooh. Yeah, the R word. But if I want control and freedom in my life, then I must accept responsibility for it. Anything we put on autopilot, we lose control of. So am I willing to be accountable to what I've attracted into my life? Now, in a lot of areas, yeah, of course. My life rocks. It works, you know, to a degree. And in other ways, I need that reminder. And I need to see, all right, what part of this experience, this turd, this whatever, what part of this could I be responsible for? Okay, so in the case of, you're talking about responding, right? I did not neglect these plants. I just bought this property. But with every crisis comes a seed of an equal or greater opportunity. What an opportunity. I get to rip this Virginia creeper out of my sweet viburnum. That's what this plant is, sweet viburnum. And I get to do that as you know, a reprieve from my work day, right? Does that sound weird? So John's going to go get therapy, pulling weeds. Yeah. I mean, it's a total reprieve from all the subjective, you know, considerations and decisions and everything else. I got, you know, scissors, man, I got gloves, sun, right? Got to remember to drink my sustained sport as well, lest I run low on electrolytes.
Important safety tip.
Oh yeah. So anyway, thank you for the reminders, and thank you for reminding me that I don't have to have all the answers, that all intelligent thoughts have already been thought. All I got to do is think them again, which is a quote from Johann Goethe. All right, thanks, brother.
All right, all the intelligent thoughts have already been thought. All I need to do is think them again. That's good. Let's attribute that one to John. No, he's Goethe. Yes, he's right. Yes. I love it. I love it. Well, there you go. And you can find these quotes, by the way, in Jeffrey Gitomer's little gold book of Yes Attitude. He has another one for sales. I think I've got it somewhere here on the shelf. I need to, maybe I'll pull that out and read it sometime and drop you a couple of little nuggets from that one. Well, here you go. I've got some work to do around the house here. Got a couple of things to get done because, yeah, I've got to clean up. Ladies, you'll understand this one. I need to do a little cleaning up today before the cleaners get here tomorrow. Got to get the place organized. Get my clutter out of the way so they can come in and have at the dust, if you know what I mean. So there you are. I hope, my wish, my hope for you is that you will develop an absolutely bulletproof positive attitude, because everything else in your life will flow from that. Alrighty then, my friends, it's been a great one. Hang around a little bit later. You know, we got the hospitality suite coming up, and then we shall see you again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Here in the Gen Sesh. Thanks again, and thanks, as always, to our good friend John for getting all this business started in the first place so we could kind of hang around and build each other up and bring to one another the impression of increase and of growth. Make it a fantastic day. I know you deserve it. You know you deserve it. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.